There's a saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Buddha. Come on, Miss Bonnie. Get ready, girl.
Today, guys, we're going to get started on the chemistry chapter. And that's coming out of the Miladys textbook, chapter 12. Now, if you are in school and you are studying to become a cosmetologist, this is a good chapter to learn. And if you are out of school and you are studying for your written exam, this is a good class to watch. Specifically, we're going to be on the pages 265 to 266, talking about water and the pH scale. So let's get started. All right, so getting started with water. Water is such a huge part of our industry, a huge part of our lives, right? Not only do we need to drink it, but it's a part of a makeup of who we are, and it's in a lot of products that we work with. In fact, the pH scale would not exist without water, right? So products that contain water is what has a pH. So this is why they're so closely related. So with water, we wash our towels, we shampoo our hair, we rinse out color, we rinse out highlights, and it's a huge part of our daily routine in the salon, right? Now, this is what I want to tell you about shampoos and conditioners and any product that you have maybe at home. When you turn that bottle around and you read the ingredients, it will tell you the order of the concentration or the amount of how much something is in that product. So, for example, if you look at a shampoo bottle and you read the back, usually the first ingredient is water. So what that means is the majority of the makeup of that shampoo is water. So water is also known as H2O, which is the water molecule. And we're not going to get started on molecules just yet, but this is just the beginning here. Water carries what's called ions. It carries charges, and these ions carry these charges, negative and positive. So you have anion and cation. So anion is your negative, and cation is your positive. So water has this process which I never really paid attention to, ionization. But I will tell you this. I remember I used to do a service called detox, water detox, and it was for the feet. So you would soak the feet in the water and you would drop saline drops, and in the middle of the foot tub was what's called an ionizer. So those charges were working against one another. In other words, if we're positively charged, the ions in the water would be negative, and it would draw out all the toxins out of your body into this water. And you'd have this color-coded chart that would tell you what parts of the body that water, if it turned orange, for instance, could be coming from your, well, green was gallbladder. So orange could be coming from your kidneys, but the water, you would see it become foamy and color-coded like coming from your body. And this was happening through the ionization process. Now, you have anion, cation, and this is what forms the hydrogen ions and the hydroxide ions. So we're going to get a little bit more into that when we talk about the pH scale. Now, there's two types of water, right? There's soft water and there's hard water. Rain is known as soft water. And in fact, rain, the pH of that is about 5.6. Now, I used to tell my students all the time when it would start raining to try collecting some rainwater. And you can buy some cheesecloth. You put it over a bowl. I used to collect rainwater in a bowl. And then I would get another bowl with the cheesecloth, pour the rainwater over that so it would filter out whatever dirt was in the rain. And then I would save the clean rainwater like in a gallon water, drinking water jug. And I would use that to shampoo my hair with rainwater. The best thing I've ever experienced with shampooing my hair. So soft water usually you should have that in the salon. Not rainwater per se, but you can get a soft water system put in to where it saves you money on your products because you're getting the full benefits. And I'm talking like a drop of a dime of shampoo will lather up your entire head. And if you do more than that, you'll be rinsing that hair out for days. So you really don't have to use a lot of product. And I think I mentioned this in my shampoo video about how 1 scoop of laundry soap with soft water can do up to 3 loads of laundry. So that's how much you save with soft water. Also, people with sensitive skin, it helps with that. Now, hard water is usually what's coming out of the faucet, right? And I'm not sure on the pH of that, but just remember, we'll get into the pH scale in a moment. Our pH is on the acidic side of the pH scale. So all these things affect when it goes above that acid side, it affects your skin and your hair. So this is why all of this is important to know when it comes to chemistry as a cosmetologist. All right, let's go to the pH scale. All right, so the pH scale, the first thing you want to know is that it stands for potential hydrogen. Okay, and so remember, this is all related to water because without water being in the product, there's no pH. Now, I have to be honest with you, I really didn't know that before, or I just didn't pay attention. But it makes sense because when you want to find out the pH to a shampoo or to a hairspray, mostly all of our products has water. So your pH scale ranges between 0 to 14. And in the middle, which is neutral, is 7. Now what that neutral means, remember we talked about this. There's hydrogen ions on the acidic side. There's hydroxide ions on the alkaline side. So this side is your alkaline. And this side over here is your acid side, right? Excuse me. So as you're going up, all the way up to 7, from 0 to 6.9 is acid. 7.1 to 14 is alkaline. So some examples, let's do our pH. Our pH ranges on the acidic side, maybe I'll say human. I don't know about any other pHs. Human, 4.5 to 5.5. Now this was something real key that my coworker taught me a long time ago, is really you should be able to bathe in whatever shampoo you're using. So that's how mild your shampoo should be. Most shampoos range at least in the 6 range, which is high up on the acidic. Well, not too high up because we're 5.5, 4.5 to 5.5. So yeah, usually it ranges like around 6.5 and up for shampoos. And some of the shampoos are so high on the pH scale that we relate them to cleansers that you use in the tubs and in the toilets, and people are using that on their hair. So you as the stylist, if you are sending your clients home, not giving them a prescription for the hair products they should be using, then of course they're going to go home and damage. But that's why this is so important for us to know as cosmetologists, the pH scale. So now other chemicals that we work with would range up, so you have even your acidic perms, ammonium thioglycolate, may start off between 6.8 to 6.9. So that's still on the acid side, but then it can range up to 7.2, which is alkaline, right? And this is permanent wave. sodium hydroxide, which we're going to be going over virgin relaxers this month, sodium hydroxide relaxers range between 11 to 14. And what's our pH again? That's right, 4.5 to 5.5. So you figure we're using something way up here and we're way over here, 4.5 to 5.5. Imagine the damage that is being done to that person's hair. So remember, I mentioned in my virgin bleach video that lightener / bleach and virgin relaxer sodium hydroxide, because there's different relaxers out there, we're specifically talking about sodium hydroxide, are probably the two strongest chemicals that you'll ever work with. And that's boiling the hair. So with hair being so fragile that it doesn't even come back to that pH, and it is turned into a whole different structure when you use sodium hydroxide. Let me put sodium hydroxide here. When you use sodium hydroxide on the hair, it restructures the hair into something else. It's not even the same bonds in the hair. So you know that's pretty damaging. So this is why we want to know. And then not to mention the water that we're using, what pH does that range in, right? So remember, we're going to backtrack on this. 0 to 14, and in the middle is neutral. From 0 to 6.9 is the acid side of your pH scale. And remember, that's your, that's your hydrogen ions. And then you have 7.1 to 14, which is the alkaline side, and this is your hydroxide ions. And now remember, in the neutral part where it's 7 has equal amounts of both, right? So when it's neutral, it's got the same amount of hydrogen and same amount of hydroxide ions in there. Now here's another thing. I kind of debated if I wanted to tell you about this because I really don't want to get too confusing and I don't want to take up too much of your time. But I decided because you are studying and you need to know this, and I don't want you to read this in the text and get confused about it, although you could always ask me a question if you're not understanding something that you're reading in your text. But logarithm is a huge part of the design of the pH scale. So it's called a logarithmic scale, right? And what that means is multiples of 10. So I'm going to write this. Can you guys see that? Yeah, you can see that. Logarithm. And that means multiples of 10. Now this is what's really trippy about this. For instance, if what it means is multiples of 10. So in other words, if something, the pH is, let's say it's 7. So this is your example. If a pH is 7, and then let's say you move up to 8. So I'm going to say pH 7 to 8. 8 is 10 times more alkaline than the 7. So what does that mean for us in any product that we're using? If something is an 8 on the pH scale, that means it's 10 times more stronger, more alkaline than that of a 7, right? And now here's the trippy thing too. As you go up on the scale, like if you go up to a 9, it's 10 times 10. So that means that 9 is actually 100 times more alkaline than a 7 on the pH scale. So let's see, is there anything else I want to tell you guys about the pH scale? Some examples, let's see, on the acidic side. You got vinegar, you got battery acid. Yee. So now remember, just because something's acidic doesn't mean it's not strong, because acid can eat through your skin. So think of glycolic peels and different types of peels where it is acid that you're using on the skin, and it can burn the skin if you're not careful. What else? Lemon juice, and that's why you could use lemon juice, like makeup, a rinse, or a conditioner with lemon juice in it for the hair, and it would close the cuticles down, because remember, we're ranging in the 4.5 to 5.5 range. So the acidicness, if that's a word, of the lemon juice blends in with our hair and actually closes those cuticles down and gives that shine. Let's see. I think that's about it. I told you about sodium hydroxide and how strong that is. We're going to get more into perms later this month. But right now, this is important for you to know. Water and the pH scale. I hope that this was helpful somehow. And I hope that you continue to watch my videos, that you enjoy my work, that you are learning from my classes, and that you're having fun as much as I am doing these classes. And like I said, I enjoy doing it. So God bless you all. Thank you so much for watching my videos. And remember, we got about 2 more videos of this class going on, because we got to talk about molecules and atoms and elements and all that good stuff. All right. Also, I wanted to tell you really quick, there's an app. No, I'll tell you that next time. Keep watching. Bye, guys.